Did you know that if it's winter time and you've given your cats, well, the outdoor cats in your neighborhood, a nice, comfy shelter to be in when it's super cold, if you've lined that shelter with blankets, you might be doing more harm than good? Welcome to Cat Chat with Penny. Penny is me. How are y'all doing today? I'm sorry I'm a little late today. I had some technical difficulties, which made worse by me. Sometimes we get involved with things and we forget that we're not on the right computer to do what we need to do. And oh, by the way, that computer takes a while to boot up. So we're here. Hopefully everything looks good. We're right now streaming to Cat Chat with Penny, which is a private Facebook group. You're welcome to join. The Mew Mew House, which is a Facebook page supporting Mew Mew House, which is a retirement home and hospice for cats. It's also this house. LinkedIn, also my personal profile on LinkedIn, and YouTube, because Cat Chat with Penny has a YouTube channel as well. So if you're any of those places, you're welcome to come on in, watch. If you're watching, I do like to keep track of where people are. I like to also know if you're able to watch this live. I don't see any little eyeballs over here that tell me if there's anybody watching right now, but that's okay because you can always watch the replay. I do like to know where my broadcast is going. But anyway, today I'll keep this brief because reasons. Because it's cold, and I also have to take some cats to a vet in about a half an hour. So yeah, I gotta fly. So straws for strays. What does this mean? This is a good thing. That right there is a good thing to remember. Okay, straws for strays. So when you're building your little outdoor shelter for your cat or cats, the community cats, the strays and ferals, we can't all have every cat inside our house. There are good reasons for that. Some places don't allow it. This or that or the other. We just want to help. Well, a great thing we can do is provide a place for the cats to get out of the cold, especially when we have these, deep freeze snaps where it stays below freezing for quite a while. It's not great, right? So you want your kitties to stay warm. And what people default to is you have a nice box and you line it with blankets, because if we're cold, we get under more blankets. But here's the deal. Blankets are great, but if you wrap up with a wool blanket versus, well, wool is another matter. Wrap up with a really warm fleece blanket or wrap up with a down coat, which is going to be warmer. The down is. And it's related anyway to the same reason why straw is a better insulator than a blanket is. And here's what it is. Air. The end. The thing of it is cats get wet. Now, we talked last week about how important their fur is to keep them warm and insulated. And part of the reason why that works is because they trap air in their fur. Okay, so air is a great insulator. It keeps the cold out, also keeps the heat out. It's fantastic. Air is great for this. This is why we have foam insulation, all these things. And why down works so well is because it gets poofy and air is in there. And air does not really transmit heat very well. I mean, it does. I mean, if you sit outside long enough with a down coat, you are going to freeze it, But the challenges with, say, outdoor cats is that, if their fur gets wet, they've got a problem. You need to dry them out. Because once you've got ice conducts cold and heat really well. It's remarkably good. The problem with blankets is that if they get wet, they freeze. So what happens, instead of being nice and warm and cozy, they're going to be damp, and then they're going to freeze, and then Kitty's going to be laying on a block of ice. And we can go in further about how physics works. Once it's frozen, it can drop down all the way down to whatever the ambient temperature is. Now, if it's not frozen, if it still is liquid, then it's stuck at freezing. Physics, but you thought that would never matter. Straw, on the other hand, it is, if you've looked at straw, it's often these little hollow tubes. It holds air. Holds air great. And when you lay on it, they're rigid enough that it doesn't get crushed down to nothing. In fact, if you have enough straw in there, you can have a layer of water or even ice at the bottom of it, but on top, it's going to be dry. So what that means for Kitty is you've got this nice layer of air trapped between the super cold and the cat. And the cat, meanwhile, is generating enough heat to be able to melt and dry any water in their fur. And if it runs off, it runs back down through the straw. So they're not laying in water. They're not laying in ice. They stay dry. And that's really important. So the fur works better. And the insulative, I don't know if that's a word, but is now properties of air really help keep them warm. So if you're building a shelter for a cat, you want to use straw as an insulator. And no, you shouldn't put blankets on top of that because, again, the same thing can happen. Even if there's straw between blankets, that blanket can still get wet. Okay? So no, you've got to just have it on straw. And they can move it around. They can get comfy. And then you need to replace the straw once in a while because it does get kind of bad. Now, the other thing that we talk about a lot, so you might be tempted to use hay. Hay is great. It's not as good as straw. I mean, my guess would be, and again, I'm not an expert on this, my guess would be that hay is better than a blanket. But hay is no replacement for straw. So get straw. And you can go, sometimes it can be ridiculously expensive to buy straw. I have my best luck going to farmer supply stores, and just buying a bag of straw. It costs you like $20, but you get so much straw. It's ridiculous. And you can use the same straw to line dog houses and everything. The dogs just love it. They just shove it around and they're nice and comfortable. So straw. Hay also, I mean, it's wet. It has a lot of moisture in it. And it's something that could rot. I mean, straw can rot too, but it's not going to rot as fast as hay. So again, straw. Straw is for strays, and that's what you want. So you can build your most incredible container. If you want, these things are awesome. You can get, your Rubbermaid container and cut a hole in it so a cat can get in. Try to do it with just one opening, because if you have two openings, then you can get wind tunnel, which kind of defeats the purpose. But sometimes you wind up needing to do two openings. Come up with a way to put in baffles or something so it doesn't become a wind tunnel. You can put a smaller Rubbermaid inside a larger one. And then maybe you can stuff all kinds of things in there to act as insulation, because it's also going to stay dry. But that stuff isn't going to be in contact with the cats. The part that's going to be in contact with the animals has got to be straw. And, you could also get like a styrofoam cooler and cut openings in that, but, because that's generally waterproof, and styrofoam coolers are kind of designed to insulate. So that works pretty well. There are a million ways to do this. And if it's something you're interested in learning more, I haven't actually created this thing, but by golly, I should. I'm happy to create something, a list, a one-page little pamphlet that lists how to make a great, that's the word I'm looking for, a great outdoor cat shelter for cold weather. Let's see here. How can I do this? I'm gonna, let's see. All right. So if you're interested in me sending you some sort of a guide to make the perfect shelter for an outdoor cat, go ahead and comment #shelter, and then be sure to send me a message, because what this tells me is that you're going to send me a message, because I don't want you putting your email or any of that kind of stuff on comments, and I'm going to have to check 3 different places. So just #shelter and a comment, maybe some more information, but you don't have to have any contact information. This is just telling me that I'm going to look for a message from you so that I know that you're interested in knowing more and getting some information. Uh-oh. Something weird just happened. Excuse me for just a moment. There we go. Sometimes tech is unhelpful. There we go. There. #shelter and then a DM, and I will put together a little flyer, a handout, so you have more information about how to make the perfect outdoor winterized cat shelter for the animals that are in your life that you need. And these principles apply to all other animals. I mean, possums move into those things, raccoons move into those things. Be aware that can happen. Dogs would benefit from this. It's just a matter of scale. So I hope that this has been useful to you. If you want to know more, if you want to support Mew Mew House, which is, again, my retirement home and hospice for cats, which you can see right here, Mew Mew House. If you want to support Mew Mew House, you can go to mewmewhouse.org. And you can also please like and share this video so we can get this information out there, because our goal is to help all the cats, right? And dogs and everything else that needs our help. So have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday. I've got to go find 2 cats and put them into carriers. This is going to be fun, and I will see you next week. Bye now.